Ian, we did a thing 10 times.
Yes, Mark. But first, let's talk about things we haven't done 10 times.
Okay.
So this is our less than 10 list.
Not the not top 10. That's ESPN. This is our less than 10.
This is our less than 10 list. This is brand new. Never been done before.
No.
So number one, I grew my hair into a man bun. I had very long hair once.
And you looked great, Ian. You should try it again.
Pictures in the show notes. Thank you,
Yes.
Mark.
Things that I've done less than 10 times. Number two, I have 2 kids, and there will never be more than that.
1, 2.
Trust me, 2 kids.
3, I've run 3 marathons.
Very
And
impressive.
believe you me, I'm still feeling every single mile, every single pebble that I traversed over.
Well, I didn't run them, but I have visited 4 different continents. I'll let you go ahead and guess.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Antarctica?
Not yet on the list.
So 5. I have 5 cups of coffee every day. Never 4. Never 6.
Definitely
I'm not a monster here. I'm not a monster. So 5 cups of coffee for me. What's
Impressive.
our 6? Oh, 6 is me again. Sorry.
You again, sir. Yeah.
So I'm double duty here. So I've run 1,000 miles in a calendar year 6 times.
It's very impressive, honestly.
And thank you. I also feel that's probably why I feel
think
marathons.
My record, I think, is like 260. So
yeah, it's kind of funny with 12, the number is always weird, right? Because if it was like 10 months, 10 times 10 is super easy or whatever. But 12 is always weird. I have to do some weird math. But thank you. It's definitely impressive. Fun little fact here for the pod audience. I'm going to be running. I've started to run less. I think that streak will probably taper to an end here, but I think it's been impressive nonetheless, right?
well, let's
So
adjourn.
7. I feel like I subscribe to something like 7 online streaming subscriptions at this point. So
Probably don't count them. It's kind of dangerous.
I basically wrote 7 because I was afraid, folks, it was more.
Yes.
But
For me,
what's our 8?
Number 8 was number of jobs I've held, and I was good with that. And then I kept thinking of more, so it might be more than 8. But my official answer is going to be 8. Maybe
That's
8.
pretty impressive.
8 W2 jobs. It's either impressive or it's
35 times 8, or
or
divided
you
by
can't
8.
hold
Rather.
a job. I'm not sure, one or the other. So
Did you
9.
include this pod family? This pod is one of your jobs?
Not yet, because we don't.
Not yet.
This is a passion project. So
Passion project. I love that.
hopefully one day it is a job, Ian. Let's look back at this in a couple of years. Number 9 of things I've done less than 10 times is only 9 years of drinking coffee. I actually 10 years ago
Kind of new to it.
coffee. Yeah, I mean I drink it every day now. Not 5 cups. That's excessive, but probably 2 cups a day.
Well, 6 is
But yeah.
excessive. I think 5 is the right number.
9 years of drinking coffee.
And
number 10
what's our 10? We've created 10 podcasts, guys.
This episode's number 10. Way to go.
Well
done, Ian.
Is, 10 podcasts. It's an impressive number. Double digits.
Yeah.
I couldn't be prouder to be part of this team with you, and it's been an honor.
Well, thank you.
To serve alongside you.
Well, without further ado, let's hit our 3 stories today, this morning, this afternoon. We have sports. We're going to talk about artificial surfaces. For finance, we're going to talk about Costco, very popular. And for our wild card, we are going to discuss, for Valentine's Day, of course, the loves of our lives. And no, it's not each other. So
we're going to lean into the topicalness of this podcast for you guys. So
yes,
we're going to count it down, folks. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get into it.
Right there, they really don't care what they talk about. They just want to have a good time while talking online. Let's get into it.
So, like I said, sports, starting off with artificial surfaces. Trivia question, Ian, when was the first artificial sports surface created?
I am going to dig deep into the recesses of the back of my mind and say 1942.
Way off. No. Okay. But to be fair, it's kind of an impossible question because what defines an artificial surface or a, synthetic surface? Because if some Neanderthals were kicking boulders off their path from the hunting grounds, is that an artificial surface? Maybe.
That sure was.
Yeah. But apparently, per my Google searching, John Gamgee, not Sam Gamgee, his taller, older, non-Hobbit brother, John, opened a mechanically frozen rink in the, England and Chelsea in 1876.
That is a long time ago, my friend.
Yes, mechanically frozen rink.
That's the key, right?
Yeah. And then in 1952, Grossinger's Catskill Resort Hotel is credited.
Tongue
according to
twister
Google,
there.
Yeah. Became the first in the world to use artificial snow. And of course, I came to this topic because in Beijing, all the snow there right now is artificial, synthetic, man-made.
It may not look like it, right? But it is.
Yeah,
It did not fall from the skies.
For the first time ever. There's been other Olympics where they had to supplement, but this is the
Yeah.
first fully artificial. And I know you can't see it unless I put it in the show notes. I looked up a picture of the crystals.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really different.
It's completely
Artificial
different.
Snow versus natural snow, just the crystalline structure.
You'd look at that and be like,
Yeah.
that's not the same thing. It's completely
Right.
different, right? Different
So-
crystalline structure. If I'm saying that right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Crystalline, yeah. And so I was thinking, okay, so things evolve and artificial surfaces always makes sports better, right? But turf toe.
Turf toe. We've all
Turf
heard
toe.
it.
Yes.
The dreaded turf toe.
And
Stubbing of the toe.
it can happen apparently on grass too, but I guess, the Astrodome, all that kind of turf is a little bit harder, so you're more likely to get turf toe. But I guess, what do you think, Ian? Is the surface that we play upon one of the leading indicators for why performance has increased over the years, or is it more equipment and the athletes themselves, or what role does it play?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely plays a role. My experience with artificial surfaces is not super deep, but I played indoor soccer at a few different places.
Yeah.
I played this one place in Massachusetts that was like tile or something. It was ridiculous. And then I have played pretty recently on, sort of the indoor turf with the tens of thousands upon thousands of those little black little bead things. When you like kind of scuff your leg on the ground or whatever, like these little beads kind of explode up. And apparently the beads are meant to kind of hold everything in place, right? And kind of keep things in a line. But I mean, basically,
you've run on a dirt track, I assume, at some point, right? The sandlot, even for baseball, versus
yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean,
the polyurethane rubberized any college or high school these days, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Feels different.
when you see like these Olympic style arenas, they're fast to say this is like the best technology ever. We will have the world record times on the speed skating rink, right?
Right.
We have more air in the ice and things like that. So I mean, I think as athletes have evolved to be essentially bigger, faster, stronger, or any of the superlatives you could throw out there,
Yeah.
I think, you might not notice it, but the surfaces have completely changed. I mean, I remember hearing from, my dad or uncles or somebody like that, the first Astrodome kind of stuff was like, it was like basically cement and then like the illusion of like a green sort of grass filler on top.
of it,
So
yeah.
people would essentially be smashing their joints and knees, and Bo Jackson would have played 10 more years if he had a softer surface, right? So I think that
I was
go ahead.
looking up the ice arenas or whatever, and
Yeah,
what's interesting is it's the rate at which you cool that is a big factor for the quality of ice that we create. And actually, you went out to a few hockey games earlier this year, and you were telling me some statistics, or I don't know, sources. It's like super thin, right? Do you remember?
Yeah, the ice
that?
is way thinner than you'd think, right? I mean,
Yeah.
And they basically put carpet over it for certain events, and and there's still ice underneath it. You wouldn't even know the difference. And I'm sure the basketball parquet floors. I think basketball is actually an interesting sport because I'm not sure
the hardcore
that the parquet floor that Jordan and Bird played on versus Curry and LeBron. I'm not sure if that's changed, right? I mean,
I don't know if that has
their
changed.
sneakers are jumpier, right? And I'm sure the training and the weight room stuff and the physicality of those athletes has changed. But I don't know if basketball has changed that much. You think of other sports.
Well, it's different
football,
if you play like on the playground. That's always going to be cement versus indoors, right?
Right.
But you're right. The NBA game itself, I don't know if it's evolved.
I think you're going to be hard pressed to count 5 football stadiums that use like real sod and grass. I think the Bears play, and then by December it looks like trash. I mean, it's hard to keep grass being good quality grass. So I mean,
you got to regrow it every time.
Yeah, synthetic turf. I mean, I remember growing up and seeing the Patriots play on TV, and it's the same. It's that bright green color. All the lines are looking beautiful. I mean, physically, aesthetically speaking, I think that the surfaces we play on look the best. And there's definitely more money going into this, obviously. I mean, the stadiums and cost of equipment, and even probably your local tennis courts and playground surfaces. Like, I think everything has just sort of evolved and changed. So I think it's a really interesting point. I think the Olympics, they had that key line about the snow thing being kind of like tip of the iceberg, so to speak, and you can do a deep dive into all the different kind of surfaces out there. So
yeah, so no grand takeaway, just kind of interesting. Synthetic surfaces, artificial surfaces, they're all around us until we start playing, I guess, sports in space.
Which, you know, maybe by episode 50 that'll happen, right? So probably not. 500 maybe. So anyway, let's move into our finance business story, huh? How about it? So Costco, right? The business, the empire, the hot dog. How many times have I mentioned, Mark, you know, the useless time travel stock market game, right? If I go back 10 years, what would I put money in?
Costco.
I mentioned Costco quite a few times, right?
At least twice today. Once now and once in the show notes. So yeah.
They've had a pretty meteoric rise over the last couple of decades.
Definitely.
And they built a pretty impressive, stable economic moat that's sort of unrivaled. I think that they have some rivals, sure. But I mean, Costco is kind of they're unparalleled right now, sort of.
Walmart, Costco.
Yeah, basically, those are your two huge warehouses with a massive circular fan. You look up and there's just like that one fan, just like the size of an airplane or something.
Yeah, Final Destination coming down.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to look up. That's why I don't do it too often. But so basically, I'm going to talk about the 3 big factors, variables to maybe why Costco is killing it, and then I'm going to hit you guys with my super original, objective, unimpeachable top 7 list of, you guessed it, the best prepared meals that you can take home and enjoy with your family from Costco.
Okay. List of
That's
3,
what you came for.
And then a list of 7. Okay.
Right. A lot of lists right so far. So Mark, walk us through maybe the first competitive advantage that Costco has established.
The first competitive advantage, as identified by us, experts in finance, the membership model. You know, they actually don't make that much profit on each product they sell. They make their money on the memberships, right?
That's sweet membership money.
That way, even if you don't go, they're still making money off you, depending on what kind of card you got, what color your card is, you know?
Right. Before you've bought anything, Mark, they have $60 in the bank.
It makes it exclusive. So you're part of a club, not Sam's Club. Oh, no.
They're part of the Costco club. Part of the Costco club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Yes.
The membership model. So number 2 is the Kirkland signature, right? That weird little cursive KS that you see everywhere, from the pants and the batteries.
Weird, but classy. Yeah.
Yeah. So the private label that they've established, a lot of places do private labels, you know, Maker's Mark and Target has like a ton of private labels. Costco went a different path, right? They didn't do the different labels for, like, Sears has Kenmore for the appliances. They have Die Hard batteries. It's all Sears, but they're different branding.
Yeah.
Costco was like, Kirkland signature is going to be our across the line brand. That's going to be on, like I said, your cauliflower pizza, your furnace filters. It's all KS. Mark, did you realize this, that Kirkland signature alone, just that branch of Costco, because they sell their products that are differently branded, that brand alone is larger than not only Hershey's, but Campbell and Kellogg.
No. And there's a lot of Campbell's soup out there. A lot of cereal out there, a lot of candy. So that's a big
Kirkland
brand.
signature, if it was its own company, would basically be bigger than 3 cornerstone institutions.
And it's all high quality, supposedly. I mean, I heard, Ian, don't tell anybody this, when they have extra wine that's $50, they just pour it out, put it in the Kirkland bottle and resell it. I don't know if that's true.
I've heard that. I think they do it with a couple of different products. So basically what you're saying, Mark, is that the Kirkland brand is designed to go across demographic groups. They're consistent in their packaging and weirdness. And basically they just own this. Since 95, they've done this KS brand, and it has reaped huge benefits for Costco.
Answer me truthfully, Ian, right now. Are you or are you not wearing Kirkland pants?
I am wearing Kirkland pants. I've worn them a lot the last 2 weeks.
All right. Competitive tactic.
What's
Number 3, the food court, those $1.50 hot dogs.
Oh, and it comes with a drink.
And a drink. Basically,
unparalleled.
They're actually losing money on these food products, but you already got in the door with the membership. So,
and you want to use it. You want to go back and use it, right? It makes sense. You've already spent the money.
And who cares if they lose a penny on a hot dog if they're making $1,000 on diapers, right?
Right. Right.
They don't advertise it because they don't need to, because this is the
They don't need
people
to.
already in the store spending the money, you know?
You going back to the store is essentially their advertisement.
And did
right?
you know you don't actually need to be a member to purchase food at the food court?
I've heard that, and I believe
I've done it. I'm not a member. I've walked all the way back there.
you just walked in.
Yeah, get myself a
Man,
hot dog, walk back
I
out.
love that confidence, that swagger, Mark.
Oh, I was nervous the whole time. Yeah,
I
and
bet
it
you
was
were.
not the hot dog making me sweat. It was just the nerves. So
So yeah, so those are the three things. But Mark, I'm dying to hear your opinion. What does Costco mean to you, buddy?
you know what, Ian? I have the unpopular take. I think Costco is overrated.
Oh, cut. And
I do. No. Before it came to our town, I was super excited for it. I heard all about it. And I wanted to check it out. And yes, if I want some dry, durable goods, I need toilet paper for the next month or toothpaste for the next year.
Beef jerky for a lifetime, right?
That's the place to go. Yeah, but outside of non-perishables, I don't think it's that good. If I compared the peppers to like Meyer, they were the same or more. I bought the big Costco size thing of chicken, and I didn't think it was very good quality. So I prefer the local farm raised chicken. I don't think I'm being a snob about it, but it's the food. So you put it in your body. I want to pay money for it. You know what I mean? I haven't tried the vacation or the tires or the super expensive things.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how deep their portfolio of services goes. You know,
and
they'll sell you
people are
life
obsessed.
insurance.
They drive like across town for the gas. I mean, you're gonna drive 15 minutes to save a penny or 10 cents on your gas. I have a Prius, Ian. Like, I'm not driving to save a buck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
know
will
it's my
say,
time, so.
yeah, I mean, I will say that I do not price check gasoline. If I need gas, I just pull in the nearest station.
Yeah.
I do though. I've heard this. I've been to Costco maybe twice for gas in my entire life. They do have those super long pumps though that you can go on either side of the vehicle. People rave about that. I think that's more standard now.
They're parking like 4 cars deep for that stuff though.
When they first opened, people were like, "Yeah, but you can go in either lane." You know, I don't know. It was one of those things that just
I don't have to know which side to go in. My car doesn't switch the sides the gas tank's on. It's the same side every side. I know which side it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's your take, Mark.
I know.
I definitely appreciate your opinions there.
Thanks.
So here we go, guys. We made it through the real businessy financial nonsense, although it wasn't nonsense. It was all
now
true.
for the important stuff.
So my top 7 list, right? So
Yes.
Everyone who's been at Costco knows they have a pretty good selection of these sort of pre-prepared dinner meals. Large, everything's large at Costco. Anyway, here's my top 7. Starting at 7, mac and cheese. It's too cheesy.
I agree.
The cheeses don't really go together. You know, you have one bite and it's like one of the 4 cheeses and the other 3 aren't really there.
Yeah. People definitely do too much cheese these days. And I also don't like breadcrumbs on top. That's a popular thing.
Yeah.
I think it's weird.
It's not really original for me. Like I can make mac and cheese. You know, if I'm going to get a meal, maybe I want something that's like a step above what I would normally make.
Kraft mac
and cheese.
Anyway,
7,
perfect.
7's mac and cheese. I know I've already angered 10 people. Probably the number 1. 6 is the meatloaf mashed potatoes. The potatoes punch up a weight class. They're like a 3 or 4. The potatoes are really good.
Okay.
Butter goes a long way. Butter and chives really help those. The actual meatloaf is perfectly fine. It's a little dry and they really like onions. I mean, onions are good. I like onions. Maybe they put too many
layers.
But anyway, it's number 6. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good. It's just number 6. Okay. The number 5 is the rotisserie chicken. This is like the original sort of like Costco has chicken that's $5. It's been $5 for 20 years. They make no money on it. It's sort of like one of those institutional things about Costco.
Do you think it's better or worse than like Meyer? Because I think that chicken's.
I think it's the exact same chicken. I think if you do a blind taste test, I mean, if you're buying 4 of these and you want to serve a small army, Costco is going to save you 60 cents on 4 chickens. But you know, it's moist. Obviously, it's moist. It's spinning in its own juices for a number of hours, right? I mean, the whole thing is just it's going to be moist. It's rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
But nothing super special.
Okay.
So I know that opinion's angered the other half of the audience. But so number 4, we're getting there, guys. Number 4 is the enchilada bake. It's got a bit of a longer name in common parlance, but enchilada bake, not too spicy. There's so many layers though that you're kind of lost. You know, it's got everything under the sun. It's got some of the chicken. It's got a number of different spices. It's got that heavy red sauce, for lack of a better term.
Better on the first bake or reheated the next day?
Reheated, because for some reason that mush factor, I don't hold that against it.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of just congeals, and then it's like the mono layer, right?
Okay.
So
number 3, please.
so the stuffed bell peppers.
Okay.
I like these more than your average person. For some reason, stuffed peppers are just my thing.
I like stuffed peppers. What kind of meat's in them though?
Beef.
I'm a turkey guy.
100% cow here.
Ground
A little
turkey.
basic. You prefer, Mark, the turkey?
I just think ground turkey. I've years ago I switched to it. I like it better. I mean, I like steak. I like beef just fine, but for ground beef, ground turkey.
Yeah. So my number 2, and I just recently have had this, but I've had it like a lot because I love it. It's the stir fry yakisoba. It's basically it's like out of a mall food court. It's sort of like this.
That's a compliment, right?
So it's a compliment.
Okay.
It's sort of like I can't remember the name of it. It's Mongolian beef kitchen or something like that, right? It was a big restaurant. Anyway, basically this is like a Japanese style noodle. It's got the stir fry, it's got the sauce you add on. So it's got like 4 or 5 components that come together. It utilizes that chicken again. So they're really smart, Costco. They have this base chicken and they pull it apart and put in different meals.
They use the whole chicken.
So the stir fry is really good. And we didn't eat this very much for a while. We kind of avoided it, but I'm glad we took the dive. So drum roll, my number 1. So the one that started it all, the street tacos. Best named dish, street tacos, edgy, a little urban. Great ensemble. I mean, this is an entire meal on this really awkwardly long tray. It's really hard to actually then
I'm gonna say
or throw away.
2 meals, I think.
It's 2 meals.
It's
so
good. It is good.
You have your seasoned chicken. You have your corn tortilla. You have a little crema, a little really nice little crema there.
All the fixings.
And you have salsa and you have vegetables and you put it together, and the street tacos really kicks butt. That's my number 1. My asterisk, my caveat, I didn't get to this meal, folks. I really regret it because doing some research on what people of the internet world thought, the Italian sausage and pasta in garlic wine sauce, rather.
Could be a wet wine. Yeah.
I haven't had this one. It sounds really fancy.
Do you know if the sausage is a link or is it crumbled? Because crumbled Italian sausage is my favorite.
Mark, this is crumbled.
Really?
This is we got to get this.
All right.
Episode 25. We're gonna eat this live. Okay, for you folks. Apparently this is a good one. People are actually turned off because the description and sort of like the white wine, the garlic. They're like,
you just made it sound delicious to me.
Well, think about this though. A lot of it's like for families, right? So they're kids, and so someone looks at that. But basically, they said if you like sausage and you like flavorful sauce,
I like sausage.
This is your one.
I like pasta. I like garlic. I like wine. Yeah, check.
So basically, that is my top 7 Costco prepared meals. There are some I didn't eat. I mentioned one of them. There are a couple others I haven't tried yet, but I'm really proud of this list, and I can't wait for you guys to tell me that I'm wrong, because you're gonna tell me I'm wrong. I guarantee it. So let's move on to our third topic, if you will.
Yes. Valentine's Day special, how we met our wives. We're going to talk about how we met them, what we love most about them, which of course would take, days. There's so many things to list. We got to keep it
at least an hour,
30 minutes. So, Ian, how did you meet your wife?
So we met in 2004.
You were young.
I was so young. I was 2004 age. And we met at a honors opening year kind of banquet event at the undergraduate university we went to.
Classic.
So, basically people mingle. There's light hors d'oeuvres.
Like a school dance.
Some sparkling non-alcoholic wine in the corner, some fruit punch. And this is true. I wish it wasn't true, but it's true. So I have to say it. Not my wife, my wife, she would never do the start, but we talked about milk, like flavored milks. I mean, I don't know how we got on this topic.
I can name 2 kinds of milk. There's white milk and there's chocolate milk.
And then there's the third leg of the stool. There's strawberry. But for some reason, I talked with her yesterday about this, and we were talking about like banana, which is not even a milk. I don't think it's a milk that they had in 2004.
Do you milk the banana?
Have it now.
I don't get it.
I don't get that. What's really weird is like 2004, there wasn't almond milk and all these crazy milks, but we somehow picked a milk that has never existed to talk about. You
guys were ahead of your time.
Ahead of our time, and also well behind our times. So basically we dated through college. 2008 rolls around, senior year. I propose after a delicious cafeteria meal,
Of
maybe involved
course.
some milk,
Definitely.
on the cliff walk. It's this beautiful scenic paved trail that overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, right? It's kind of like a postcard. You guys can Google it. What a vista. I think it's pretty, I do the standard down on one knee. I stayed to the script, I think I was so nervous that essentially my memory has been wiped. My mind was so transfixed upon the act of it that it essentially is a blur. But
Yeah.
according to my wife, it was pretty typical. It was down on one knee. I don't know if I had the knee totally on the
That's what you
crushed
wanted to
pavement.
tell you. Yes, your proposal was very typical.
Yeah, I mean, you see on TV and all these things, they have these crazy ways of doing it. It was a nice, beautiful day.
I'm sure it was.
Could have been lightly raining. I don't recall. And got down on one knee, proposed. Anyway, fast forward to 2009. I actually had moved to Michigan by then, but I went back to Rhode Island to get married in Ochre Court, a large mansion built in 1892. So, actually is built after they had the first synthetic ice skating rink.
Way to bring it back.
I would not have thought that because, this is like an old, anybody that's watching there's a new show out right now that has some of these mansions in it. Anyway, put in the show notes. We're going to have show notes because we've mentioned it like 4 times.
I went home.
Anyway,
for sure.
Ochre Court, married. And you had asked me, Mark,
Yes.
most romantic gesture in the show notes. I'm embarrassed to say that, for me, the proposal in the venue was kind of like, that was my apex. That was where I was at the top of my game.
So you peaked early.
I peaked early, like as early as one could peak. And I've never really been able to match that. So
you're supposed to set the bar low and then exceed it.
I have to work on that. But that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Okay.
I'm dying to hear about you, Mark.
Yes. Have you seen The Office?
One episode.
Perfect. Then you know how I met my wife. Basically, I'm Jim, she's Pam. That's it. Case closed. Not really, but we did meet at work. She was the young intern. I was the senior,
Season, not intern.
6 months ahead of her.
Post intern.
But basically, I don't even know. It was a friendship. We worked together. She laughed at my jokes. She still does once in a while, not as much as she used to. That was in 2012, so 6 years after you guys met. But yeah, I really didn't want to die alone, and so I pursued her hard.
Went there.
She had an apartment way down the road, 20 minutes away. So I'd like wait at a bookstore halfway there and like text her, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" "Oh, I'm not doing anything." "Oh, you want to hang out?" "Yeah, okay, I'll be there."
I love that you like.
It was not stalking, like not legally.
It was stalking adjacent.
I was prepared. You know what I mean?
We're prepared and willing. Yeah, you're prepared. Exactly, you're prepared.
So, but after a
Halfway.
year, of that, I convinced her to date me. Don't know how still. I don't know if she knows why. And 2 years later in 2015, we got married. We got hitched.
I was there. Beautiful wedding.
Well, you were not at the proposal.
No, I was not. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Unless you did
No,
very.
mine was not romantic at all. I think I woke up on a Saturday morning and I just grabbed the ring from the dresser and I just said, "Do you want to spend the rest of your life with me?" And she, I think coughed and said yes. So yes, you were at the wedding. Not at a old mansion, at an old barn, actually, probably built around the same time period, late 1800s, I think.
Perhaps it was the place of a skating rink previously. I don't know.
Certainly. So yes, that was it. My most
great.
romantic.
Yeah. What's yeah? You probably didn't peak as early as I did.
Making fun of you. I think I basically did. I don't know if it was romantic. My favorite, like our fondest memory together probably was honestly our honeymoon. It was just us, no kids, no family, no work. We did a cruise. So I'd like to travel again, definitely sometime soon.
Yes, definitely. Well, that was really fun. I think that was a really good Valentine's Day story there. So the takeaways, what are our takeaways? So sports, like all things, sports evolve. This includes the training methods, the equipment, and yes, the surfaces we play on.
Yes.
And finance. Costco is either a crafty, super smart company or overrated. Apparently that's the only thing they can be, or it can be a bit of both, but they have really good hot dogs.
Really good.
Thank you to our wives for everything.
Well said, Ian. Did you notice how many lists we had in this episode?
Well, I can list them. We had at least 3 lists, right?
No more lists. Yeah. But honestly, let's congratulate ourselves one more time. Pat
One
on the
more
back,
time.
if
10
you will.
episodes is no small feat.
No,
Yes.
it takes a little bit of work, but it's fun. We're having a great time, right?
This was a
And
great episode, especially. This was really fun. 10 was really special.
Hopefully our wives listen. And I know we keep saying it, but honestly, thank you to everybody who's listening and following along.
Yeah.
I hope you're having
We
fun.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It means the world to us. So
In the words of the 2021 Dune movie, 2021. Yeah.
2021.
This is only the beginning.
Love it.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The content in this podcast is not intended to be a research report, financial, or life advice, and does not constitute an endorsement of any product, service, individual, or organization.